Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark, Sarah, and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Give us a listen at LydiaMediaLLC.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@LydiaMediaLLC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI,
the best plumbers around.
And by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We are joined in studio by the president and CEO of the Lewiston, Auburn Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, Shanna Cox.
Morning.
How are you?
Afternoon. Midday. Whenever you're listening.
It all works.
We'll
I'm
take it all.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm fantastic. Buckled up for a wild week.
And you just got back from a little vacay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. A little NOLA.
NOLA.
Yeah. Rolling in the South.
Big easy.
We did. We had a good time.
Love
we had
it.
a good time. Yeah.
Well, we are going to talk to Shanna all about upcoming chamber events and a whole lot more coming up here in just a bit. But before we get there, let's take a look at some headlines for Tuesday, March 11th.
The Sun-Journal reports that the Auburn Planning Board will review an amended proposal for a 160-unit housing development off Stetson Road. A planning board memo said the development is, quote, well within compliance and additional land available for roads, open space, and other site improvements.
Maine lawmakers are proposing a bill that would replace Maine's minimum wage with a livable wage scale, which is the minimum a person needs to pay for the essentials like housing, food, and health care. According to calculations from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a livable wage for a person with no kids is $23.22 an hour. Maine's current minimum wage is $14.65.
Senators Collins and King are co-sponsoring legislation to make child care more affordable and accessible. The Child Care Availability and Affordability Act would strengthen existing tax credits to lower child care costs and increase the supply of child care providers. Since 1990, child care and preschool costs have increased by 263%.
Yowza.
Can we just remind ourselves that 1990 was 35 years ago? I mean, that was quite a
children
while
are
ago.
That felt like a personal attack, Pam.
I mean, I'm included in that. You're younger
Wasn't
than
it
me.
like 15
so.
years ago? I was pretty sure it was just yesterday.
It's just a minute ago.
The cities of Lewiston and Auburn are reminding residents that property taxes are due on March 17th. If you need a copy of your tax bill or would like more information, visit lewistonmaine.gov or auburnmaine.gov.
How about that weather?
Weather!
Sunny today with a high of 55.
Yeah.
Low of 28. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 42 and a low of 26. Cloudy on Thursday with highs approaching 40.
In sports, Sam Hauser's 33 points led the Celtics over the Utah Jazz 114-108. Boston will host the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night.
The Bruins host the Florida Panthers tonight at 7. Sarah's not having it.
I saw Marchie in the Florida Panthers uniform yesterday, and I got like all worked up.
Did you hear his speech?
Yeah, it was good. I'm gonna cry. It's okay.
Okay. You want me to take the next one?
The Maine Nordiques will visit the New Hampshire Mountain Kings on Friday.
That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is Sweeping the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for March the 11th, shall we?
It's not sweeping like it was yesterday.
Aw, jeez.
Let's go with it.
I mean, how
not
can
getting
you...
much buy-in from my co-hosts over here, Shanna.
I see you working for it, if it makes you feel any better.
How are you supposed to compete with Chuck Norris, though?
You can't.
Yesterday was Chuck Norris.
We peaked.
We peaked.
We FP peaked
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go ahead with this.
I guess so.
Is it just a bad birthday, guys?
Well, yesterday we had like 18 A-listers,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
ended with
It's a good
Chuck
day.
Norris.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You don't have any of that today, huh?
No.
No.
Today we're starting off
Sorry.
with Johnny Knoxville. of Jackass.
I mean,
Yeah, bring it home, ladies.
no
Jen.
Chuck Norris.
That's a Chuck Norris.
Johnny Knoxville, 54 years old today. You know him from Jackass and like the Dukes of Hazzard movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That he did with
Yeah.
Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
And
Wait, he voiced Leonardo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
did he
Okay.
really?
Okay.
No, in
Alright.
2014.
Okay.
Way back when.
Yeah.
Singer Lisa Loeb, 57 today. Oh. You know her from
Yeah.
Stay,
Stay.
Stay.
I miss you.
You say you're here with the
Definitely
world to-
kicking Chuck Norris's butt today, guys. Right back to peaking.
Recording executive Jimmy Iovine is 72 years old today. And he co-founded Beats Electronics after working with one Dr. Dre. Pam.
Oh, there you go.
Dre makes today epic.
Yeah.
Right?
Way to
See,
link
Shanna's
it.
with
Way
me.
to link it.
You mean like Beats, like the headphone
Yeah.
company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beats by Dre. Movie director Jerry Zucker is 75 years old today. He directed the movie Airplane.
Oh.
Classic comedy. One of the best comedies ever.
Not just that one, but the other Leslie Nielsen movies too, The Naked Gun
Yeah.
and Police Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are pretty funny.
Here's a little weird one though. Apparently he directed the movie Ghost.
Really?
It's a little off the cuff from the other
Airplane
ones.
to Ghost. It's an Academy Award-winning movie.
Oh, boy. All right. Go, Jerry.
Yeah.
Bobby McFerrin,
Don't
75
worry.
years old today.
Be happy. Ooh.
Mark. Sometimes I have to wait for her to finish.
That's pretty great.
Okay, I'm done.
Mark Metcalf from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Animal House is 79 today. You know him as Niedermeyer on Animal House. He was also in a couple of music videos for Twisted Sister. And rounding out FPBs for March 11th, it is not Chuck Norris.
Nope.
It's Sam Donaldson.
Oh.
91 years old today.
Oh.
Retired television news reporter and news anchor. And just a legend all around, right?
Yeah.
All right. They can't all be winners.
It's a lot of senior birthdays today. Like, there was a
It
whole
is.
lot above 70.
Yeah.
I feel like you had to dig deep. Just checking.
On this day, 25 years ago, in 2000, the rock band Kiss began their farewell tour. And it's still not over.
I was like, just to reiterate Pam's earlier point of how long ago 2000 was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that yesterday?
That was a long
Oh,
time
by the
ago.
way, was it 5 years ago? The pandemic started.
I know.
Oh, wow.
This
On
week.
Day. Yep. 28 years ago on this day, in 1997, Paul McCartney was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II.
Starting the generations of Sir.
Yes, Sir Paul McCartney.
And Sir Elton John.
Yeah. 31 years ago today, in 1994, the Supremes got their Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
I like
Oh,
that.
good on them.
36 years ago on this day, 1989, Bad Boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Cops debuted on Fox.
Everybody knows that song.
Everybody
They
watched that
sing it
show,
while they're in their
too.
car and they see blue lights.
Yes.
I was just thinking about Sam Miller has this joke about how that's what he watched when he was in prison was cops, and like they would yell at the
was gonna
television
say,
screen and be like, "Don't hide in there!" Like, no, do your thing because I'm stuck in here, and obviously you're out there. It was just
And
funny.
48 years ago today, in 1977, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh premiered in theaters.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
What was your favorite Winnie the Pooh character?
Tigger.
I'm a big Piglet fan.
Yeah, Piglet's
I'm a
cute.
Piglet.
Piglet's pretty cool.
Eeyore, too.
Eeyore's the
Eeyore
bomb.
resonates. He might not be the cuddliest, but boy, I self-identify, you know?
Like
For sure.
I like that they just let him be who he was.
That's
too.
my favorite
They were
part.
okay with
And his
it.
perpetual tail issues.
Yeah, I was on there with a
No,
bow.
no permanent fix needed. You're just loving him the way he is.
Yeah.
Tail, no
Well,
tail.
You know they're stuffies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lesson in there, right? Not every stuffed animal needs surgery 3 years in when they're missing an eye. Just love them the way they are.
That's right.
Step back, moms. That's all.
Those are your FPBs and OTDs for March the 11th.
Meh.
What a banging day.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the LA area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Now we shift focus fully to our guest in studio, President and CEO of the Lewiston, Auburn Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, Shanna Cox. Does that all fit on
There's
your business
so many
card?
syllables
I
there.
know,
It's
there's a lot.
just too much. No, I have to use the back of my card. You're lucky to get my name on the front.
Wrap text.
Yeah.
There
Yep.
you go. Let's start off with the startup session.
So tonight, we do startup sessions. Usually it's on the first Tuesday, but as previously mentioned, I was gone last week, so we rescheduled it. It is an open house for anyone who is thinking about starting a business, has just started a business, has a small business, and they're trying to grow their business. It's a really great opportunity. It's open to the public. It's free. You don't have to be a member. It's very open house style, so it's pretty casual. You're able to come in there. You're not, if you get there at 5:15 and not 5 o'clock, you're not interrupting a speaker. It's a really welcoming environment to both talk to other entrepreneurs and small business owners. It's always kind of nice to be surrounded by other folks who know what it's like to be going through what you're going through. But then we also have business advisors and business mentors in this space. And I don't think a lot of people realize there's a ton of support for small businesses. A lot of it is free, but it can be really hard to navigate the system of supports. And oftentimes it comes off as kind of cold, like, email this info at number and hopefully you'll get so we try to humanize the system and bring the folks right into the room so that you can talk to them, you can schedule a follow-up, you can learn about your business plan or how to make a business plan or your target customer or marketing or QuickBooks and finance, all of those sticky things. Because the reality is most people start a business because of the thing the business does. They have a passion for that, they have a skill for that, they have experience for that, and turns out you also need to be, particularly when you're starting your business, a bookkeeper, a marketer, right? Like you have to do all the things, office administration.
So many hats.
Plunge the toilet, all the things. Like that's just really real. Like, folks might not realize, but in Androscoggin County, 69% of businesses have 10 employees or under.
Wow.
Yeah. So SBA, the Small Business Administration, talks about small business as 500 employees, right? And in Maine, that does not feel very small, nor does it feel really reflective of our own business environment. And so, yeah, when you have a business that's, 6 people and you're running it, you're probably doing more than you signed up for, or at least more than you had hoped to be doing. Sure. At the very least. So, yeah, startup sessions are a really great opportunity to focus on whatever next element of your business. We've been doing them for about 3.5 years now, noting the pandemic was 5 years ago. I think it took about a year for us to be able to start them. And for a while there, we'd see people come kind of really religiously for 3 or 4 months, and then we wouldn't see them. And I went through this period with my team being like, what's missing? What we saw, and now that it's been 3.5 years, it's really incredible to have seen folks go from I have an idea to I just hired my first employee. But realistically, they'll come in for 3 or 4 months, focus on an element of their business, go do that thing, come back 2, 3, 6 months later, say, oh, this is really great. This is where I'm at now, and the next thing I'm struggling with. And so, yeah, it's a really great opportunity to find your motivation and find some peer support and get some mentoring.
Yeah. I actually went to a few of them
Yeah.
in the very beginning. And I like that you pointed out, because I think I went in not really knowing what element of the business I wanted to focus on. I was kind of like, I don't know.
It's all on fire sometimes.
right.
It feels that way, yeah.
And that's an important part is, I didn't really know what part I wanted to focus on. Like you said, I know the business because the magazine and print advertising and helping small businesses and just people in the community is the passion. But then the bookkeeping.
Then there's all the other stuff. Like you got to send
social media,
invoices.
And then finding help to build your business, it's very important to find
that
the
testimonial,
small
Pam.
focus on what you want to work on, and then go in there and find the person that's there to help with that particular thing.
And I think, this is true. I have a team of 11. We're, a small nonprofit, but we're business minded. Our operations are kind of business leaning, and certainly within the business community. There can be days where it feels like there's 4 or 5 things that are top priority, and realistically 3 of those things might be urgent but not a priority, and the thing that is a priority might not ever make it to the urgent list, which is why there's always those other 3 things on fire. And sometimes you need some outside perspective of like, what's the thing that I can work on that will be the most impactful, which is different than the thing that will be easiest for me or the thing that I should do first.
Right.
And it's really hard to get that perspective when you're in it. So, yeah.
It's a great, anybody that is just starting or wants to evolve their business or thinking about starting a business, it's a great opportunity. And like you said, you don't have to be a member, so show up.
Come
check it
on
out.
in.
And just sit back and watch, really, and just communicate with other people kind of in the same space. So
we have some like hard materials available, but we have SBA advisors and SCORE mentors, other entrepreneurs. So I owned my own business for 6 years before this particular role, and there's an element, the whole like fake it till you make it is not a lie, right? Like you want to present yourself as somebody who is successful that someone else would want to work with. And it's not artificial. It's an element of what it is to get started. So then you find yourself in these really vulnerable spots of being like, man, there's this part that I'm like not nailing, that I feel like a failure on. And who do you talk to about that? And this is a really like safe and comfortable space to be able to say, man, I just am not 100% on all cylinders. Where do I start? Startup sessions. Come on in.
Connections for a Cause coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, this is our, if you folks remember back, we killed Business After Hours with our friends at Fortin and Panett, had a really beautiful eulogy, and we still have afternoon networking, but we really revamped what that looks like. And so Connections for a Cause, and this one this week, tomorrow night, is a really unique, I'm super excited about this. So our host business is Palo Entertainment, who paired up with, so Connections for a Cause, a member gets to pick another member who's a nonprofit to highlight their work and their mission. And so Palo, David, picked the Public Theater. So Connections for a Cause is at the Public Theater tomorrow. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to network and make some important business connections, learn a little bit more about a really amazing business. Palo does a lot of great work across our region, and then learn about an awesome nonprofit. And I think folks might not realize, in addition to being an award-winning professional theater, the Public Theater also does a ton of education, and they do a lot of youth programs, and they do some really cool stuff. So come learn about them, have a drink, meet some folks, have fun. On a Wednesday? Yes, please.
As we continue through your busy week.
Yeah, it's just this week, right?
We move into Thursday.
It is. Our director of events, Katie, kind of wants to kill us for March. Shout out to Katie, who's holding it down. But
Katie!
Yep.
Brewing Connections coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, so we meet at Schooner Estates, which is across from that Stetson Road headline that you talked about earlier. We meet there, and what I love about Brewing Connections is we take 4 member moments. So we've got 4 existing members who, we try to highlight our members, but at breakfast, you usually kind of call attention to our new members who are being introduced at breakfast. Brewing Connections is for some of our members have been with us for 140 years and deserve being lifted up too. And so Brewing Connections, they get 5 slides in 5 minutes to share about their business, bust a myth, talk about new team members or a new service or a new branch. And it's always entertaining. You learn a lot in a really fun, quick format. So we highlight 4 different members, and then we do structured networking. And so for folks who like going to a networking event and leave it and realize, and this is real, I'm just really nice, and sometimes I get stuck in a conversation for the entire time, and I didn't meet as many people as I'd hoped to.
Yeah.
We help you with that at Brewing Connections. It's structured.
Got you covered.
You get to blame me for making you move around and meet new people, and it helps you kind of move the conversations. And I think one of the best parts about this event is it's an hour. It's 8 to 9. You can arrive early. You can stay a half hour late to extend your socializing. But if you're trying to run kind of a tight ship and get back to the office at 9, we've got you. So, yeah, Brewing Connections is a lot of fun. And before you move on to next week, I would just like to point out that this week starts daylight savings time, has a full moon, and ends with a Friday the 13th. So, like, if we're just layering on how fun this week is, I just want to throw a little bit of that in the background.
Thank you for that. Because yesterday,
you're not crazy. It's actually this week.
I really felt yesterday like I was losing my mind.
Yep. You are not.
Thank you for
You're
pointing
welcome.
that out.
I just wanted to put business in context of life. So in the background, we've just got the full moon going on. We're all off by an hour. Mornings are
better.
pitch black again, like we went back in time somehow.
I do not care for
the
that.
13th is Thursday.
Wow, great. That helps. See? Thank you. It's still ending the week,
But
maybe
I
not
did
Friday.
read the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yes, I saw that same
Thanks.
thing where...
I don't know that
Friday
Thursday the
13th,
13th is better or not.
I don't know either. It's my mom's birthday.
Oh, so it's better.
It is better.
See?
We're going to mention her on
I was going to
FTV.
say, make a note of it.
I won't forget.
Yet another reason I should have been in on Thursday.
Celebrate my mom.
Hello. And then next week we have breakfast from last month.
Yes.
And people are still hungry.
So February, they are starving. And it's funny because I was in the Tuesday before the day breakfast should have been, and we quietly knew that we were very likely to reschedule because there was a big storm that day. It's the first breakfast we've ever rescheduled or canceled in all things breakfast, which is, decades at least. And so it was not an easy feat, but we're at the Royal Oak Room. It's completely sold out, has been, where we've got a wait list of folks who would love to join. And the city of Lewiston will be talking about the Choice Neighborhoods initiative, the historic amount of redevelopment that's been happening there. I think they've got a couple surprises up their sleeves, so folks should be pretty excited about attending next week. And it's our first time going to the Royal Oak Room for breakfast, so we're pretty
so beautiful.
Yeah, I know, we're really, really excited about that. So it's a slow month for us, just and we're not done.
You're invited to join Seniors Plus for their annual Fill the Plate breakfast on Friday, March 21st at the Hilton Garden Inn Riverwatch in Auburn. The event will benefit the Seniors Plus Meals on Wheels program and feature American Idol finalist Julia Gagnon and former Maine legislator Margaret Craven. Reserve your spot today at seniorsplus.org.
We did the walkthrough at Norway Savings Bank yesterday for the B2B show on the 27th of this month. And you should mark your calendars now. Our booths are fully booked, but you can register in advance for free. It is $5 at the door, which means if you're coming just to get a bunch of pens and some free chocolate, you're going to have to pay for that experience. If you want to go and you mean it, pre-register, it's free, so make some intention around it. But we have some cool door prizes that we're giving away to folks who attend the trade show. We've got a free hour of ice time at Norway Savings Bank Arena.
What?
Yeah, that's a whole thing that we're giving away. We have a really great Bluetooth speaker as well as a new Keurig for the office. Just a couple of the door prizes that folks can have. And we're trying a new format. So this is the first year the Chamber, technically, I think, if we were to be very technical, this is the first year the Chamber has done the B2B trade show, period. LAEGC, which is now part of the Chamber, did the trade show for years. But then Dow Media took over the trade show, worked with us last year to transition it to us. And so this is our first year running this event. And we listened to a lot of people. The trade show industry has changed. And we wanted to be really thoughtful about the feedback that we heard. So it's a one and done in a day. We're really thoughtful about the time that people are committing, whether it's folks who are registering or our vendors. And so vendors load in at 8. We open the doors at 11. We start a cocktail hour at 4:30. The day is done at 5:30. So you're really going to kind of pack it all in. And we think that that's really what people want. We heard that over and over again. So we're excited about that. Burnt Ends has got our lunch and our cocktail hour. And we are doing some structured networking on different topics on the hour throughout the day. Just a 10-minute short shot to help people pull together based on what they're interested in.
I like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much.
We are going to see you a lot this month.
Yeah. Yes, you are. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. It's a busy month. And behind the scenes, we're planning all of our big annual events. So we're adding a disc golf tournament into our calendar this year. The kickball tournament is kicking off. Yeah. People get so excited about the kickball tournament. Yeah, we've got a couple of fun changes up our sleeves for the kickball tournament too. And we just closed nominations for annual awards last Friday. So our selection committee is pulling together next week to review all of your great submissions and gear up for annual awards, which is in May. So
All right.
yeah, behind the scenes, we're
So
also
many good things.
looking at the long term. Thanks. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
welcome back.
Yeah,
you're hit the ground running, I would say.
Yeah, I actually, the reentry was not bad yesterday. Like, I think it's worth setting yourself up for success. So, like, I blocked some catching up time. Came back to work yesterday, and at noon I was like, this could be 10 times worse, and it's not. This is great.
I like how you said re-entry like you went to the moon.
Listen, have you been to New Orleans on Fat Tuesday? I'm not sure I didn't. I'm not sure that's not what just happened last week. Yeah.
I saw her the day after she got back at the
How'd I look
fundraiser
then?
at Burnt
Oh,
Ends.
that's right. Yeah.
You could tell you were just kind of like, I got to
She was standing.
through this.
I
You were standing.
I was rehydrating.
Yeah.
I was rehydrating with a little. Had a really great salad there. Chad's my partner, and he goes, "You're gonna get a salad at the bar?" And I'm like, "It's a great salad."
It is
and
a delicious
I don't
salad.
think I've seen a vegetable in 5 days.
Oh, boy.
So yes, I'm definitely getting a salad,
yeah.
and it hit the spot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thanks, Kevin and Jill.
I had
get
their
me back straight.
The chicken wings.
I saw your wings come out. Yep, and I was
Extra
like,
crispy.
maybe I should have done that.
They're so good.
Wings are good.
I shared them. They were that good.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah. I don't know about that. But
Yeah, the fundraiser raised what, almost $2,400?
Yeah.
Pam came to me afterwards and said, when I see you guys do that, I think to myself, maybe I could try it.
You should.
I had a couple drinks that night.
I've thought about comedy from time to time. I feel like if I dipped my toes into comedy, I would have to be committed to not going back to the particular field that I'm in right now. Like, it's a commitment
Yeah,
that
right?
will, yeah.
That's a little bit
Yeah.
how I feel.
I know.
Like,
I can't turn back.
Yeah.
But you did dip your toes in.
I MC. Like, I mean.
But you were funny.
Thank you.
Ask Sarah. There are a lot of MCs that aren't funny.
There's a lot.
There's too many, actually.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I didn't. Listen. If you catch me in the right environment, you could catch a set or two.
You were on stage telling jokes.
Yeah, I'm epic. Yeah.
No, but you did it. You did it.
Thanks. It's not the stage that's scary. It's the what's too far?
Right.
In comedy these days.
Sure.
What am I not going to come back from?
Yeah.
Is that live on YouTube somewhere? Those are the questions that play in the back of my head.
Do we have more chamber stuff? We must.
I just brought you 5 through the end of March.
You did.
And I highlighted 4 over the next 4 months.
We went right through it.
Do you feel like you don't have enough?
No, when you...
Do you need more? I'm going to tell Katie that you'd like to see more from her.
That's a whole lot of stuff happening.
That is
at
a
the
lot of
chamber.
stuff. It's
Thanks,
good
Shanna.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shanna.
Do more.
No,
Please,
it's all
like a good
stuff.
turnip should. No, we love it. It is a full month.
Yeah.
It's a full month, and there's plenty of other things. Like, we've got a couple ribbon cuttings, and there's a whole bunch going on.
New
All right.
businesses, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston, Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com. All right, you ready for 3 random questions? Are you sure?
I don't know. I never
I don't know.
I never know, but I love finding out.
All right.
Let's delve in.
We're ready for 3 random questions with Shanna Cox from the LA Metro Chamber.
See, that was easier. That fits on a business card.
Chamber.
Yes, Bob. We do some good work down at the chamber. I am from down East Maine, and if you didn't know, oh yeah. In college, a good friend of mine also had a really great down East accent, and both her and I, we were like waited tables through school, and I spent 2 summers working in Bar Harbor, which is kind of like the epicenter of down East tourism in Maine, and the number of tourists, i.e. Flatlanders, who would say, "Are you from here?" And I would say, "Yes." And they said, "Well, you don't sound it. You would make more money if you sounded like you were from down East Maine." And I'd be like, "All right, Bob. You want another drink with that? Like, sure, whatever. I'm sorry I went to school and I'm educated, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm happy to slip right back into it. Listen, I've got lobstermen deep, like 6 generations on my mom's side of the family, and he's super brilliant, runs a really tight business, and has an accent like no one's business.
Yeah.
So my best friend and I in college would slip into Martha and Edna. And we'd just riff as we'd talk about our husbands and their hungry man dinners. We gotta go get ready so they could get out the door in the morning before the sun rose up. yeah. So we would just spend sometimes like an hour and a half in down east Martha and Edna.
There's your comedy character.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Like, this is my point. What can I not come back from? And I got to tell you, that's at the top of the list when I ask that question. Right there. Can this be undone?
All right, question 1. Shanna, you are presented with a time machine. You can take a one-way trip or a round trip. Where are you going? And what are you taking?
I mean, round trip because I love my family, and a one-way trip would mean I would not get to see my
Correct,
boys.
you'd have to stay there.
Yeah. I mean, if you asked me at a much later point in my life, maybe, right? But no, it would definitely be round trip because, I like the stuff that's going on in my life here, people and such. I would want to return and see them. It's an interesting question. I've thought about this a little bit in my past. I would really like to go okay, so this is where you're going to see how much of a nerd I am. And that's fine. That's fine. I would like to go back to New York City as they were doing some of the urban planning around laying out the street grids, planning for public waste disposal, which is a huge part of society working that no one likes to think about or talk about. But the amount of planning that went into the architecture, the design that went into the streets and the layout for services and commerce and public life and green spaces. I would just love to be in those planning meetings and sit down and hear the conversation. That would be rockin'. Yep, big dork. Big dork. From Martha to, I know. Yes, I'm a complex individual, multifaceted lady. But I would love to be part of that time, the design of cities and architecture. It's my favorite thing to look at when I travel.
So you wouldn't want to sit in on the Boston meetings?
No.
There was no planning.
So it's that, right? There were so many lessons learned from Boston that got applied in other cities, and that's the part I want to see.
Gotcha. Okay.
Town made of cow
The
paths.
lessons learned. Yeah. Well, and I mean, there was a lot of building up the ground in New York. Anyway, really cool stuff. Yeah. Right. Second on that would be the Roman Empire's building of some of their aqueducts.
Oh,
and I've been to Rome.
Infrastructure was cool. Yeah.
I've been to Rome, and Americans who haven't traveled to other countries, specifically older European countries, you just, you go see the Liberty Bell and you're oh, America's so old. You go to another country and you see, civilizations that are 2-3 millennia old and what they were able to do. And you're oh, that's amazing. It just helps put things in perspective. But I think that it was a round trip ticket to one time and location. So I'm now lame in so many people's eyes. Wow, she wants to see New York sewers getting built? All right. That's fine. And I stand by it.
Do you want to go?
Sure.
Okay.
What is your best scary story?
When I tell or when I lived through?
Let's go with when you lived through.
Okay. Today's the day of going right to the brink of where you might or might not be able to come back from. So I bought a house in Mechanic Falls, 2005-06.
Where in Mechanic Falls?
Directly behind the IGA. There is there's a little alley and then there's a house.
Yes.
That was my house. I don't know. It was white at the time. I don't know what color it is now.
Pam grew up in Mechanic Falls.
Yeah. No, it's so it was if you live in a small town and you buy an old house and then you do any gardening, which I did a ton of gardening, the neighbors will talk to you about the stories of the house. And so things started to come together. But at the time, I had young twins and a newborn. So 2-year-old twins, a newborn. My sister-in-law and her 2 sons lived with us. And so we had a house full of kids who were, toddlers and in diapers. And weird things would happen at night with you've got the little, speaker walkie-talkie system monitor.
Baby
whatever.
monitor?
Yeah. I mean, it was older. So as Pam pointed out, this was 20 years ago. Thanks again for that. And so like we would hear weird things on the monitor, and we assumed that it was the older brother, the cousin that lived with us, but the older brother of another young child in the house. And one night we heard those sounds, and he was downstairs with us. And it turns out that this house was a doctor's office with like a midwifery and birthing center. And there had been a mother who passed away in childbirth, and I'm pretty sure she haunted the house. And like very motherly, very caring ghost that we lived with for 4 years with a bunch of children.
That's the kind of spirit you want.
Yeah. I mean, so it was like, it was the best kind of scary I could have asked for. Like there was, no like floating objects or anything, but like there was definitely a bunch of things that were completely unexplainable, and other folks who, as you know, in a small town, who were like, "Oh yeah, no, it's haunted." Like, "Oh yeah, don't question it. Yeah, you definitely live with ghosts." I'm like, "Awesome." I was like in my early 20s, and yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but a very nice ghost. I think there was actually a couple there, but there was one predominantly who was definitely a mother and a caretaker.
Cool.
Yeah, and I was one of those like ghosts. Till you live with one. Yep. And then you're like, nah, I get why you wouldn't believe it, but also I do. I don't blame you for calling me. Yeah, be a skeptic. It's cool.
Yeah.
And then live with one and change your mind. It's cool. That's what I did. Yeah.
My house in Mechanic Falls also had a presence.
See? Yeah, you just,
Maybe it's the water.
I don't. There is some history in that town.
Sure.
Yeah.
There is. Yep. They used to have the largest, I think, rifle company. The
Oh.
mill by the river.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hunting rifle. Yep.
Ready for mine?
I can't wait.
Mine's easy. If you could have a brand new name, just pick one. What would it be?
Oh, that's funny. I don't know that I would. I'm actually pretty happy with Shanna. I might pick a different middle and surname. That's my first name. But I laugh because everybody picks a new name for me. Like, I get called anything but my name. Shanna Frances Cox, that's the, like, you're in trouble name that you get. But my second name would be Anastasia.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, that was the name that I was going to pick for my son, who turned out to be a son.
Oh, okay. Do you have a nickname?
Shanna Banana. I mean, it's still my full name, so I don't know that it's funny because this trip that I was on last week, there was 8 of us girls. 2 of them could not say my name to save their souls, and the rest of them would like constantly keep correcting, and I don't bother. Like, Shayna, sure, Shanna, that's my name. Shauna, all right, Shannon.
Shayna.
Oh yeah, I get them all. It's fine. And there was no one else with any closely sounding names. So I'm like, oh, if you that's me. You don't have to finish it. I'm coming. And so they tried to correct it. And finally, apparently there was an offline conversation where someone's like, you got to say her name right. It's Shanna, like Shanna Banana. And so she comes up to me and she's like, we're 3 days in. I've been saying your name wrong the entire time. And I realized I'm not going to be able to say it right. So I'm just going to call you Banana for the rest of the trip. And that was, and that happens more often than you would imagine.
Banana.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't pronounce it?
I
just couldn't remember.
Yeah, I find that sometimes if you have a Shauna or a Shannon in your life, it doesn't matter how many times your brain tries to make you say my name, your tongue will say whatever is familiar to you.
Yeah.
And I don't get worked up about it.
Yeah. I have a rep whose name is Shannon Cox.
Nah.
Yep. And she emails me quite regularly. And every time I'm like, man, Shanna's got a lot of emails going out this week. And then I'm like, oh, no, this is about Crocs. Okay.
Not me.
It's not the right one.
I'm sorry, Shannon Cox with the Crocs?
Shannon Cox is my Crocs rep.
I love that. I love that. That's the best thing ever.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Shannon Cox reps Crocs.
Yeah.
I have a request before we wrap up the podcast today. Could you perform Lottie Dottie as Martha?
As Martha.
The answer is yes. I'm not going to, because that wasn't what you asked. You didn't ask, will you? Can I? Yes, I'm capable
Can I
of
ask
it.
a question now?
No. I might have actually done that more than once in my life. You would need to be part of those kind of private Downey sessions to get the full experience, Mark.
Okay.
So I think we need to schedule some time on Shanna's patio, front porch.
Yeah.
I will say a campfire and a couple of beers really brings out the Downies. And it has to be beer.
All right. So we ended on a dud. Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Listen, the last Lottie Dottie I
Can't come
did
back from that.
almost got me in trouble. If I pull a Martha Lottie Dottie, I'm killing my rep with all the crowds. Get out the door in the morning before the sun rose up.